Good morning, Panthers and Rams. And before I get started, just want to tell Governor Shapiro, as they say, ain't no party like a CD party.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
So I'd like to personally welcome all to a historic event today at the Central Dauphin School District. Today is an exciting opportunity to hear from the individuals who helped make a historic investment in children across the Commonwealth. I would like to thank Board President Mike Jacobs, Vice President Janelle Bingaman, and Board Member Eric Epstein for being here today, also with Mr. Gordon in attendance, as well as all of the other elected officials who are here with us today. Today, we celebrate a major accomplishment in public education, and we applaud Governor Shapiro and his team, who, with other elected officials, have made commitments to improve public education in PA. So what does this mean for Central Dauphin? Before I get there, I'm going to give you some background on CD. We have an L English language learner population that is over 15% of our school district. That has been a 70% increase over the past 7 years. There are over 81 different languages spoken in our district. We are a district that does not have full-day kindergarten or pre-K programs. We have several buildings at this point who don't have air conditioning and also in need of repairs. The district has experienced a large number of families entering, and we are at capacity or over capacity in some of our buildings. So this will afford us the opportunity to create a plan to support our growing L population. This could include additional staff, resources, and materials, and also a possible welcome center for all of our newcomer students. Discuss possible ways to earmark the adequacy funds to offer full-day kindergarten to students in Central Dauphin. Hopefully, this will also open up a discussion in terms of how we can support pre-K for our students, because we also know the earlier we get students in school and support their foundational skills, the better off they'll be to reach the benchmark of being on grade level by third grade. Create a facilities plan, which will help address the overcrowding in our schools and help tackle some of these facility needs. As a district, we will be able to assess our current safety measures and determine needs for our district. And another important part, mental health. We know how critical it is for us to dive into the supports that are needed for all of our students. So I commend Governor Shapiro and his team and want to emphasize that this is a very impactful decision that will positively affect the learning environment and educational success of all students in the state of Pennsylvania. Today's investments in our youth will pay dividends to not only this generation, but also will make a positive impact towards the Central Dauphin School District and the future of Pennsylvania. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Khalid Mumeen. He will come up for a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's give it up for the band and the cheerleaders. It feels so good to be in a school where we're able to see our learners and their talents on display. So just thank you so much. I am Khalid Mumeen, and I'm the Secretary of Education. And I can tell you, as a former teacher, school leader, and administrator, I know firsthand how critical our schools are to our communities and our Commonwealth. Also, I know for too long, lots of schools have been underserved and under-resourced. But today, thanks to the historic investments that Governor Shapiro has made 2 years in a row, the focus and attention that this administration has given to education in Pennsylvania, and the commitment to continuing that support, our schools are poised for generations of greatness. Every day at PDE, we see firsthand the benefits that come from investing in our schools, educators, students, and communities. The support we give learners, whether that's free school breakfast, mental health services, or menstrual products, the support that we also give our educators, like student teacher stipends and enhanced professional development, and the support that we give our schools through infrastructure improvements and safety supports, all of these investments that we make today will pay high dividends for tomorrow. So I thank Governor Shapiro, truly thank Governor Shapiro for his steadfast leadership from day one. And I thank all of you in our communities who are working hard and supporting us as we continue to support Governor Shapiro and our team of legislators to bring these investments across the finish line. So on behalf of all Pennsylvania learners, Governor Shapiro, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to bring to the microphone Representative Fleming. Thank you, Dr. Fleming. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Justin Fleming, and I'd like to welcome you all to the 105th Legislative District here in Dauphin County, comprised of Lower Paxton Township, all of Susquehanna Township, and Pembroke Borough. And I have the honor and privilege to represent both CD East High School and Central Dauphin High School. So the Panthers and the Rams are well represented here today, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. And I want to thank Governor Shapiro, as well as Dr. Mumine, the school board, and the administrators. This budget that we recently passed is going to include $9.3 million more for the Central Dauphin School District. And that is critical funding in this time. Funding for things like, $3 million line item also for menstrual products. And I want to shout out my local Girl Scout troop here. Central Dauphin Middle School is one of the areas, or one of the schools in which we have a period pantry because they created it and they started it. Lingelstown Middle's the other. And so tackling these challenges and tackling these problems is the role of government. And I think we can all agree upon that. Increased investments in early learning and things like that. But that $9.3 million is critical for a number of reasons. Number one, it will allow the school board and the administrators to invest in the things they need to invest in order to enhance the quality of education here in the Central Dauphin School District. But it will also do something else critically important, especially as we go through budget years and continue on making these landmark investments. It will keep, for the parents out there and the property owners out there, it will keep your property taxes lower. It will make it so that if we invest more at the state level, then that takes the burden off the school directors to raise property taxes to keep up with costs year over year. So that's why a state investment is so important. And let me just end by taking you back about 20 years. I've been around for a little bit. I worked in the Rendell administration, and then I was a mental health and child advocate for 12 years before I joined the General Assembly. There is a model for seeing success in making the kind of investments that we've seen over the last 2 years during the Shapiro administration. Back when Governor Ed Rendell was the leader of our Commonwealth, he was criticized at times for investing too much in education. But I don't think there's such a thing. I don't think there is a thing as too much investment in our kids and into the next generation. We need to educate our kids and provide them with every available resource so that they can learn and become productive members of society. And we saw real results and real gains from the testing and the assessments that were made during the Rendell administration. I'm glad to see that Governor Shapiro and I'm happy to join in this fight to provide every single dollar we can for our kids all across the Commonwealth who are learning. Again, welcome to the Central Dauphin School District. Welcome to the 105th Legislative District. And I appreciate being a part of this today so we can really make a brighter future for our kids all across the Commonwealth. And with that, it is my honor to introduce our teacher speaker today, Kim Pearl, who is a teacher here in the district.
Thank you. Good morning. I am so proud to welcome everyone here today to Central Dauphin Middle School. My name is Kimberly Pearl, and this year marks my 20th year as an educator here in the Central Dauphin School District. Thank you. I'm not only a public school teacher, but also the parent of children in Pennsylvania's public school system. I'm a student as well, taking graduate courses in our state system of higher education at Millersville University.
That's awesome.
In the school law and public policy course I took last semester, our cohort of public school teachers from around the mid-state discuss the importance of fair education funding in Pennsylvania and what it would mean for our respective districts. With the passage of the state budget, educators from all over the state can take pride in Governor Shapiro's leadership in guiding Pennsylvania's legislators to come together to ensure equity in funding for students across Pennsylvania. Here in Central Dauphin, we rely on state funding to support so many of the opportunities we provide for our students. Our phenomena-based science curriculum is driven by students participating in hands-on lessons. Students are immersed in critical thinking and problem-solving skills in our math classes, given opportunities to engage with relevant literature and writing exercises in our English language arts courses, and excited to learn social studies and history because of the meaningful connections that our teachers weave into their lessons. Our creative arts teachers are frequently updating their lessons to be more innovative to prepare our students for the expectations of the world beyond K-12 education. And our health and PE staff make connections with community partners to ensure that our students' needs are being met. This school year, our middle schools became one-to-one, guaranteeing that each student has the technology they need to succeed. All of these educational opportunities are available to every student in our schools and support our mission to challenge students while fostering their personal and academic growth. All of these opportunities should be available to every student in Pennsylvania, regardless of their zip code. Fair funding for public schools is an important step in ensuring equity for our children. Thank you again to Governor Shapiro and our state legislators for recognizing the importance of fairly funding Pennsylvania's public schools. We appreciate you coming here to Central Dauphin Middle School during the exciting first week of school where we are celebrating a fresh new start for our students and staff and joining you in celebrating a fresh new start for equitable funding in public education.
Sure. Thank you.
I am very pleased and honored to welcome our next speaker, 8th grader, who is a National Junior Honor Society member, student athlete, and student musician. Please welcome Heidi Birch.
Yeah. Great. Love it. Go get him, Heidi.
Hello, my name is Heidi Birch, and I attend here at CD Middle. After high school, I plan to major in either physical therapy or school counseling, both in which align with my passion to helping others. Ultimately, I aspire to contribute and make a positive impact to the well-being of individuals in my community. CD Middle has really helped me get all these traits and learn what the importance is of having these traits. The teachers, principals, and staff members at Central Dauphin have played a pivotal role in shaping my life, providing guidance, support, and a caring environment for me to learn in. They have taught me life lessons, including perseverance, teamwork, and the importance of curiosity. They have provided me with many opportunities like sports, clubs, and other community services. The staff at Central Dauphin pushed me to go beyond the requirements in order to reach my full potential. When I move on up to the high school, I'm really looking forward to being a part of high school sports, clubs, academic achievements, and National Honor Society. Thank you.
Awesome job.
And now I'm passing the microphone to Mr. Governor Shapiro.
Thank you, Heidi. Heidi, you're awesome. And let me say, I think you're awesome. I'm not just saying that as your governor. I'm saying that as a father of an 8th grader. You are awesome. You did a great job. Put your hands together for Heidi. Well, Central Dauphin, it is great to be with all of you today. And man, I was so excited to get to one of our wonderful schools across Pennsylvania for the first week of classes. And it is so cool to be with all of you today. And I just wanted to come today to wish you an amazing year. I know you are full of potential, full of opportunity. And here at Central Dauphin, I know you are going to meet the moment and meet that standard set by Superintendent Turman and the entire leadership team here. And so I just want to say to all of you here at Central Dauphin, I wish you a great and wonderful school year. I will say your band sounds awesome. Usually it takes a few weeks to get you all to ramp up to that high level. You are there right now, and I'm excited Three. They are what? Legislative, executive, judicial. Okay. So, very good. Which one am I? Legislative or executive or judicial?
What?
Which one am I?
I'm gonna go executive.
You're going to go executive. That's a good call. The other one, the other branch, judicial, isn't here because they kind of look over stuff. If we mess something up, we didn't mess anything up, so we're good. Judicial's not here. But you know who else is here? Legislative. And so I want to take a minute and thank our legislators who are here. And I want you to meet them because these are the people who are working hard for you every single day. You met before Representative Fleming. He's the state representative from right here in the Central Dauphin School District. Representative Fleming has done a great job representing you, and we're grateful you're here, Rep. Thank you very much. Now, throughout Dauphin County, where y'all live, we have other representatives who do hard work as well. And so I want you to meet Representative Patty Kim, who represents the Harrisburg area. Thank you, Rep, for being here. And the third representative I want you to meet is Representative Madsen, who represents this area as well. Thank you, Rep. Now, it's important you know who they are because this guy over here, what's your name? Who answered my question? Gabe told us how many branches there are in government. There's 3. Who can tell me how a bill becomes a law? Huh? It's got to pass in, go ahead. Has to pass through the other branches, has to pass through the House of Representatives, and it has to pass through the, starts with an S, the Senate, exactly. And after, good call back there, you got to raise your hand though, this is school. After it passes the House and the Senate, and it's got to pass identical, then where does the bill go? Come on. To me. It comes to me. And it's sitting right there. And after I sign it, then what happens to that bill? It becomes what? It starts with an L. It becomes a law. Exactly. So that's why these guys are important. They write that stuff. They pass it over in the Senate. It comes to me, it becomes a law, and so today, I'm here to sign that law and to talk to you a little bit about what's in there. And so that's where I want to begin today, by talking about what is in this law to help our students. You know, we talked about those 3 branches of government, executive, legislative, and the other was judicial. And I made a joke before that they're not here because we didn't mess anything up, and that was a joke. What the judicial branch does is it reviews our laws. It reviews what's happening in the state to determine whether it is what? Starts with a C. Whether it adheres to what? What's the overall document that governs how we do our work every day? Whether it's constitutional, whether it's lawful, right? And so a couple years ago, the judicial branch reviewed what it is that we're doing on education in Pennsylvania. They looked at how much money the state invests in our schools. They looked at where that money goes. They looked at the impact of that money. And guess what? Our courts here in Pennsylvania found that actually we don't have a constitutional system. That the school districts that need it most aren't getting the dollars that they need, and that we're not putting enough resources into our schools. That happened literally right around the time that I became your governor. That happened right around the time that these 3 legislators took an oath of office to serve as your state representatives. And you know what we decided? We were going to fix that because the court was right. The way we were investing in our schools wasn't constitutional. And I'll tell you something else. When it's not constitutional, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. And it means that you're not getting a fair shot in Pennsylvania. And so we set out to change that. We set out to make sure that your superintendent, where'd he go here? Your superintendent had not just more dollars available to invest in you, but the dollars needed to solve big problems in Pennsylvania. And so we went to work, Democrats and Republicans, to figure out how we could make this better. And we studied the issue, and we leaned in, and we worked hard, and we listened to each other. And let me tell you what
the change was. In Pennsylvania, for the first time ever, based on that law right there that I'm going to sign, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the state, is going to invest over $11 billion in our schools. $11 billion in our schools. Now, I don't know about you, it's hard for me to even understand what $11 billion means. So let me break that down. It means dollars that go so you have smaller class sizes. It means dollars that go to make sure you get free breakfast in the morning. Y'all getting free breakfast when you show up? That was something I worked on hard last year. We did for the first time in Pennsylvania. And I believe, Mr. Superintendent, you do lunch as well based on a federal program, which is exciting. Let me tell you what else $11 billion means for our students. Because I heard you loud and clear on this over many years. It means we now get to hire more mental health counselors in our schools. I heard y'all loud and clear as I've traveled listening to students all across Pennsylvania that you need more supports when it comes to mental health. You want more counselors. You want the ability to communicate on your phones with people who can maybe give you a little bit of extra help. You want somewhere to go when you see your friends who are struggling and they need a little bit of support, right? So we're funding that as well. Your superintendent talked about how you've got some classrooms, many classrooms without air conditioning, and some buildings that are kind of crumbling that need a little bit of help. I know your school board is really sensitive to this. For the first time ever, we now have a fund that goes to helping repair these buildings. I know you might not sort of care about that off the top of your head, but imagine what it's like when you get that building fixed, the leak doesn't happen anymore. There's no asbestos in your school. The gym floor gets redone so you can hoop a little bit better. You've got more resources available, so you've got great assets in your school. That's what $11 billion is. And here in Central Dauphin, we've seen the amount of money that's going to your school increase dramatically. Now, why is that? Because in the past, Central Dauphin is one of those schools that has been losing out. Remember I talked before about how the court said that we weren't funding our schools the right way and we weren't driving the dollars out to the school district that needed it most? Well, they identified Central Dauphin as a school that needed to get extra money, extra help, okay? And without nerding out on you too much with the numbers here, it's important that you know we created this thing called an adequacy formula, and within it, Central Dauphin is now set to get over $6 million in new money just from that. So what we're saying in Pennsylvania is, y'all matter. This school district matters. And a school district that's been left behind and ignored at the state level for so many years in the past now is going to get its fair share. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be here today. I wanted to look you in the eye and tell you that when we're doing that work legislating, when we're writing those bills, when we're doing the tough work of trying to find compromise between Democrats and Republicans, I never lost sight of all of you, of the students who are here, the great teachers who are here, who deserve better than what they've gotten in the past. And so now, for the first time, we are on our way to having a constitutional system where we not only have more dollars going to your classrooms and to your teachers, but we also have the dollars going to the school districts that need it most. That's a really, really big deal. And listen, the students are huge beneficiaries of that. But you know who else benefits from that? Your teachers, too. Let's put our hands together for our teachers. Our teachers are awesome. Our teachers are really great, but the one thing I want to say about our teachers is we don't have enough of them. Now, here in Central Dauphin, we're doing pretty well, Mr. Superintendent. We've got a lot of teachers, but if you look across Pennsylvania, the whole state, we don't have enough teachers to be able to help support our students as the years go on. And so one of the things that we have found over time is a teacher will go to school to learn how to be a teacher. And then after they learn how to be a teacher, they're required to go work in the classroom for a while. Right, Dr. Mameen? Dr. Mameen's the head of the Department of Education. He knows this. And so the problem was, when they go try to work in a classroom to get that experience, guess what? They didn't get paid before. Imagine how hard that would be if you're trying to do what you love, teaching students, but then you don't get paid for it. And so then you maybe can't take care of yourself or your family. Does that seem fair to you? No, it's not. We fixed that. And so now for the first time ever, we've got this new initiative. Actually, it started last year. This year as well, we doubled the funding, where teachers who want to come and be your teachers here and are learning and doing their classroom time, they can actually get paid at the same time. It's called a teacher stipend, which is a big word for basically saying we're letting these folks do what they love and make a great living doing it, and that means students are better off, teachers are better off, and school districts like Central Dauphin are better off. That's a pretty good thing as well, right? So think about it. We're making sure that there's more dollars going in your classrooms. There's more resources available for mental health counselors. You're getting free breakfast in the morning. The buildings that are crumbling are getting more help. Our teachers, who are really the ones who are like the lifeblood of these institutions, are getting help as well. And at the end of the day, here's what's happening. Every single student in Pennsylvania, here in Central Dauphin, up to Erie, Philly, and every place in between, you're getting the freedom to chart your own course and the opportunity to succeed. You see, I want a Pennsylvania where everybody's got a shot, no matter what you look like or where you come from. And I want to make sure that no matter what school district you go to, you get an awesome education. An education where you get to be your best. Where if you want to go to college, you're going to be ready to go to college. You want to go into the trades and be a welder, you're going to be ready to go into the trades and be a welder. By the way, hear me on this. We need to treat both paths respectfully and equally important in the success of Pennsylvania. But we know that if you've got great classrooms, great athletics, great arts, and all that, you can have a shot to be successful. And when you're successful, that's not only great for you and your parents, grandparents, and others, it's great for all of us because you're going to be the ones that lead the way in the future doing wonderful things for Pennsylvania. And I am so excited for your future, and we all worked really hard to make sure you'd have an even better shot in the future. And so I wanted to come here today and celebrate that. I wanted to come here today and sign that law together with all of you. Here's the last thing I want to say. I know that y'all probably don't pay a lot of attention to politics. And when you do sort of clue in, you probably get a little bit frustrated sometimes, right? Yeah, I see some of you kind of nodding and shrugging. You know, I'm sure we got some people who like Democrats in the room, some people who like Republicans in the room, and that's totally cool. But I think we also have a lot of people in this room who get frustrated because they feel like the people they elect to office don't actually do anything, right? See a lot of your heads nodding. And that can be really frustrating no matter what you believe. Well, here in Pennsylvania, we live by 3 letters, GSD. We focus on getting stuff done for Pennsylvanians, Democrats and Republicans. Here's a fun fact for you. Hopefully your social studies teachers will put it on a test as an extra credit. I don't know if I'm allowed to assign work here, Mr. Superintendent. But here's the last thing I want to say. In Pennsylvania, okay, I'm the only governor in the whole country with a divided legislature. Remember we talked before, there's a House and a Senate? This is the only place in the whole country where one of them, the House, is led by Democrats and the other, the Senate, is led by Republicans. Imagine how hard it is to get stuff done when you're dealing with the leadership of either place being in a different party. Yet now I want you to think about how important you are, because we all found a way to come together, Democrats and Republicans, to invest in your future. That's how much you matter. And so at this time where, yeah, maybe it's hard in some places to get stuff done, to move the ball forward, to put points on the board every day, here we are showing in Pennsylvania that Republicans and Democrats can come together. We can do big things, especially when it involves all of you. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for inspiring our work. Thank you for being who you are. And I want you to know that this is only a beginning. We're going to keep investing in Central Dauphin. We're going to keep investing in our public schools. We're going to keep investing in a future of hope and opportunity for all of our children. And that is because here in Pennsylvania, we believe y'all should have the freedom to chart your own course and the opportunity to succeed. And that is what we are all about. So I want to say thank you for having me here at Central Dauphin. I'm going to invite some of y'all up here as we sign this into law. And then Heidi's agreed to take questions from the press afterwards, if that's okay, right? Thank you all very, very much. Come on over here. All right, what's up, Panther? You can't see me, but I'm trying to fish pound you there, man. You're leaving me hanging. All right. Squeeze in here, ladies. I just signed that into law, and your superintendent has all the money, so you should go see him after this for a check. I think we got to come back up here and answer some questions, then we'll talk. All right. Come on back up here, gang. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll take a few questions from the media. Dennis.
Hey, Governor, how are you?
Hey, good.
You know, there's obviously some folks who are happy to be spending money on a public school. They just want to know that it's money well spent. What metrics are here, other than checking a box saying it's $11 billion and another $1.3 billion on top of last year? How do we know it's money well spent? And is there a metric? I know you like data. What data and metrics are you pushing to make sure this was well spent?
First things first, we've got to fix an unconstitutional education system. The court held that we weren't investing enough, so money is required, and we weren't investing it in the right places. That's why the new formula that I laid out is so critically important to get the dollars here to a place like Central Dauphin. And then, of course, it's critically important that we sustain that over time. And so you'll see me come back budget after budget investing in education. So that is job number one, making sure we invest. The court held that we weren't putting enough resources in. And remember, when Republicans and Democrats alike had a chance to appeal that ruling, they didn't. They accepted the fact that we needed to invest more, and bipartisan majorities in both chambers made those investments. We're going to continue to make sure as time goes on that student data is proving success. But we've got to understand that that data is going to take time to catch up with the investments. I'm committed to the long term, to making sure the investments I put in place as governor are sustained long after I'm gone, God willing, many years from now, and that we're going to keep seeing real investments in education. We're going to keep seeing great test scores. We're going to keep seeing great evidence of student success and leadership as a result of the investments at the state level. In addition to that, you heard from Representative Fleming, and I realize this is slightly off from your question, but it's an important point. The more you invest at the state level in public education, the less burden on your local townships to raise taxes, school taxes, or I should say your local school boards to do that. And so what we're getting here is we're easing the burden on taxpayers, and we are investing more in students. And I think we're going to see the benefits of those investments as the years go on, certainly.
Why are you so certain that the money going in this year will be enough to address the adequacy question that the Commonwealth Court put up?
I specifically stated that this is a beginning, not an end. This is not a one-time investment. We have now set a new floor for education funding. Remember, we are investing over $11 billion. That's $1.1 billion more than last year. I mean, that is, for those who have followed education funding in the past, that is light years ahead of where we've ever been. And we have a brand new formula where about 64 cents of every single dollar goes in to this adequacy formula and driven out to the districts that need it most. This is the beginning of those investments, certainly not the end. And as we sustain these investments over time, we'll address the mandate from the court.
There's still student teachers who are not going to receive this stipend this year. Is it an intent to fully fund that program in the future?
Well, within about 4 hours last year of the new student teacher stipend, which, if memory serves me, Fleming, it was about $10 million, right? $10 million. He's the numbers guy here. $10 million. We doubled that to $20 million. The reason we all saw that as a priority is because we knew within 4 hours that $10 million was claimed by student teachers. By doubling it, we hope we can hit more student teachers. We recognize we've got to keep this initiative going and increase the funding because we've all seen the success of this initiative early on, and we want to make sure student teachers can get into the classrooms, get the training they need so they can be full-time teachers in our classrooms and not have to sacrifice their own financial well-being or their kids' or families' financial well-being in the process. We want to encourage people to go into teaching, and this is a great way to do that.
How do we keep that money for those type of programs and the other investments that you're talking about? How do we guarantee that continues to move forward when in 4 or 5 months we could have a completely different legislative body?
Look, I work with everybody, Republicans and Democrats alike, around shared priorities. Our kids are a shared priority. And listen, I don't care what the politics says. Here's what I know. When you travel across Pennsylvania, rural, urban, suburban communities, and you listen to people from different walks of life, different terrain, different political views, folks basically want the same 4 things. They want great schools for their kids and grandkids. They want safe communities to live in. They want economic opportunities so they can grow prosperous in their hometowns. And they want their rights and freedoms protected. And so I hear that in Republican and Democratic communities alike, rural, urban, and suburban. And so as we go forward, we're going to continue to stay focused on those 4 Pennsylvania principles in making sure that we invest in those areas. And I believe we've now laid a bipartisan groundwork to continue those investments. Anything else?
Yeah, can I,
Dennis?
since we're doing a civics lesson here, one unrelated question.
I know, I went way off script here.
The legislative body's sitting on a $300 million surplus, and they got a 7% and 8% increase in this year's budget. In 2009, the head of that bipartisan commission, Josh Shapiro, said,
I remember that guy.
you know, a 3-month surplus would be enough, which by these numbers is about $100 million.
Yeah.
What do you say to the fact that they've gotten it? They got an increase on top of, they're already sitting on a pile of money that some would say you've already got enough, you should be giving some of that back.
Well, look, I think that's a question for the legislative leaders. My position hasn't changed. I think squirreling away money in bank accounts in Harrisburg and not investing it in meeting the needs of Pennsylvanians, whether it's education, safety, economic opportunity, is not really the best way to invest taxpayer money. I think legislative leaders need to be able to justify to the taxpayers why they're keeping so much of their hard-earned money in a bank account here in Harrisburg. Way back in 2009, when I chaired that panel, I said we should return that money to the citizens of Pennsylvania or invested in things that benefit the citizens of Pennsylvania, and my position remains the same.
And your budget for your operations is a 12% increase for the governor's operation. What's the justification for that?
All we're producing, all the good work that we're doing in the governor's office to meet the needs of the good people of Pennsylvania. I'm proud of the work that our team does. I think we've got the best staff in the whole country, and they're doing great work every day. We're putting points on the board every day for the good people of Pennsylvania, and that requires a dedicated staff. And I want to say, I am so impressed as governor of the 80,000 employees we have in the Commonwealth. And while they don't report to me, the staff in the legislature as well, Republican and Democrat alike, these are dedicated public servants who work hard every single day to help the people of Pennsylvania. And I think they deserve an honest wage, a fair pay, and they deserve to get the credit that they've earned from the good people of Pennsylvania for how hard they work for them. All right? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys.